Hi guys, I hope you can hear me okay and see me okay. That was very anticipating the start of that. It's like Missy, who's doing the technical things just here. He was very reluctant to press start and I'm like, come on, let's go for the live. And we did have one view this morning. Sorry, I'm just looking at the YouTube comments on there, and we have one viewer already, which I think is you, Genevieve. I'm not sure because it's a little bare face. But it's really great to have one viewer watching. And we also had one viewer this morning as well, which is really nice, which I didn't realise because I was looking at the YouTube chat and they were actually commenting on the Patreon chat. So I've got the YouTube chat here and I've got the Patreon comments here. So hopefully if you guys jump on and you comment, then I'm not going to miss your comment this time. So, but I think we're learning together, and hopefully the lives will get used to the system and the camera setup and where to look, where to focus on the comments and stuff. So, but in this evening, or depending on where you're watching, this morning, this evening, for me this evening in Hungary, 7 p.m. We are going to be crocheting some lavender. So, and it's actually going to make up a nice little set of 3 lavender. And I really like this design, and it's a really nice little cute design of mine. So here we go on the other camera. So I've got these 2 which I've prepared, and we're going to make a little third one in tonight's live tutorial. And we're going to be using 2 colours, so just a green and a purple. And this is just a sport baby weight yarn, so that's a yarn weight of 2, but you can use a DK light worsted weight yarn if you want to as well, so you can use any weight yarn you like really. But with that I am using a 3mm crochet hook, and we're going to start off with the green yarn, so I really hope you guys follow along. And if you're watching this after post live, then I really hope you will give this a try and tag your projects on Instagram if you're on Instagram. It should be really nice to see. So just use the hashtag HappyBerry Crochet, then I get to see all your projects, which is really nice. So we're going to start off with the green, and I'll just move my little lavenders to the side, and hopefully you can see okay, because I'm getting used to this camera here. It's a little bit different to my normal tutorial setup, but we're just going to start off with a slip knot. And we're going to start off by chaining 11. So this is technically quite an easy pattern, but it gets a little bit complicated. We'll see how you go. So we're going to chain 11 to begin, and hopefully you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So this is going to be our normal stem at the bottom of the lavender, but we need to do something a little bit thicker at the top. So what we're going to do is a single crochet foundation stitch. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hook into the second chain from our hook. So don't count the loop on your hook. First chain, second chain. Put your hook into there. And you may be familiar with this already. We'll see, we're just going to bring the yarn through, but rather than complete a single crochet, we're going to do a foundation stitch. So we're going to yarn over and just pull through the first loop only, and then we're going to do the single crochet. So we're creating a single crochet and a chain at the edge. And we're going to do 10 of those. So the next one, rather than going into the chain, we're going to go, hopefully you can see because it's hard for me to double check. We're going to go into that little chain 1 that we created on the left hand side. So just making sure you go under 2 bits of yarn. We then bring the yarn through that chain that we created, and we do the same thing again. We create the next chain, and then we do our single crochet. Like so. That's our second one done. Is that showing up well enough, Missy, on camera? Do you think that's clear enough? Thumbs up. Okay, so hopefully this is good for you guys. We want 10 of those, so we're going to this time go into the second chain that we created on the left hand side under both loops. Bring the yarn through, and then create our next chain. Just do a chain 1, then create our single crochet. That's our third one. And so we're going to create 10. This time we go into the third one, do the same thing again, do a little chain 1, and then pull through both loops, do a single crochet. So that's 4. And go into the next chain, do the same thing again. 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. 2 more. 9. And 1 more. 10. Okay, so if you do find this a little bit difficult, a little bit complicated, what you can do is just continue after your first 11 chains. You can just chain another 9 and then work another 10 actually, and then work 1 single crochet in the second chain from your hook and in the next 10. Yes, next 10, however many, back down to here. So you can work normal single crochets just down to this halfway point, so if you prefer. But hopefully you'll give the single crochet foundation stitch a try. And but don't worry, I'm going to write these up as written patterns with some alternate ways of doing it as well, if you find that a little bit too complicated. So I'll write up some written patterns in the next couple of days and put those on Patreon as well for you guys. But what we're going to do now is we are going to just slip stitch into the chain that we created on the left hand side, as if we were going to do another foundation stitch. We'll put our hook into that chain and just slip stitch into there, just so we get our work on the left hand side. I'm just going to refresh any comments, make sure I'm not missing any comments, but I think we're good to continue. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab our purple yarn now and we're going to bring that through our loop. So just join the purple yarn, bring that through our loop. Oops, just tighten that. And now we're working with the purple. And what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. Let's chain 1, 2, 3, and then we can just tighten that even more. And we can actually cut our green yarn, get that out of the way. So we're going to chain 3, we chain 3 in the purple, and we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go back into that same stitch that we slip stitched into on the left hand side. I'm going to go back into there and do a double crochet. So this pattern's in US terminology, so these single crochets in UK terminology are going to be double crochets, and this double crochet that we're creating now, pull through 2, pull through 2. In UK terminology it's going to be a treble, but I'm not sure do we have any UK patrons yet? I'm not sure actually. So let me know where you guys are all from. I know we've got some people from Australia commenting on Patreon, which has been really nice. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do another double crochet. So we're going to yarn over again and go back into the same stitch again. Do another double crochet. So we end up with this little cluster of 3 chains and 2 double crochets all in that same stitch. And then what we want to do is we want to slip stitch on the opposite side. So looking at the stitches down the right hand side, we're going to find that first one here, but we don't want to go in from the front, that's quite complicated. We're actually going to just fold this up and we're going to put our hook into that first stitch on the right hand side. We're just going to slip stitch into there, give it a nice little tight pull tight, and we're going to do the same stitches again. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. And we're going to do 2 double crochet in this stitch, same stitch. 2 double crochet in there, 1 and 2. So we sort of end up with this kind of weird butterfly shape. And then we're going to fold our project back and go back to the left hand side. But this is what we're going to do. So the first little cluster we made on the left hand side, underneath there's a stitch. We're going to skip that and go into the next stitch. This is why foundation stitches are better, because you can see these chains nice and clearly. So skip one stitch and go into the next stitch. I'm just going to slip stitch into there from the front. And what that does is it folds your little project over, starts creating this crisscross technique, which really comes to life at the end. And then we continue the same thing again. So we chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Work 2 double crochet in the same stitch. 1 and 2. And then again, we want to find the stitches on the right hand side here. But again, we want to, oh, my tail ends keep getting in the way. Again, we want to skip one stitch. So we look to see where the last stitch is worked into, and we skip one. So if we just fold this over and have a look at the first one we worked into, which is here, then skip one, and then in the next stitch, coming in from underneath, I'm just going to slip stitch into there. Hope it's not too fiddly to see on camera. Do the same thing again, chain 3, 2 double crochet, but hopefully you get the idea. 2 double crochet. Okay, and then again we fold back and look for the left hand side, and we skip one stitch on the left hand side and find the next stitch and go in from the front. Get my yarn the right side of my hook though. Go in from the front, do a slip stitch into there, like so. And do the same thing again. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to repeat this technique up to this middle point. So 2 double crochet in that same stitch. My tail ends are getting in my way. It's very frustrating. 2 double crochet. Let's just have a little check of any comments. No, I'm not missing any comments. Are we missing comments? Yes, we are missing comments. So, of all the times my internet decided to go spotty is right during your live. Oh no! Oh no, that's so bad. Hopefully you haven't missed too much. The pattern's quite repeating, so hopefully if you've missed the beginning, then you can maybe hopefully still follow along. But don't worry, it'll be available afterwards, and you can hopefully still catch up and give this pattern a try. Oh no. But what we're going to do is, after that little cluster, we look for the right hand side, again this side, and we're going to skip one. So we find, what helps is just to turn this over and find the last one you worked into there, and then skip the next stitch, and then in the next stitch coming from the back, so we're coming from underneath, do a little slip stitch, and then chain 3, 2 double crochet. It's amazing how much more nervous I get when I go live. Stumbling on my words. 2 double crochet, and then folding it back, right side up. We look for the left hand side, and then we skip one, then in the next stitch, this time from the front, we do a slip stitch in there. And got a message. I love this little pattern. Oh, thank you. It's sort of a little bit fiddly, but it does create a really realistic lavender effect. It's really nice. So I think once you get the hang of it, and it's quite hard to show on camera because I'm getting a lot of tail ends in the way. So we've slip stitched on the opposite side. Okay, on the left hand side, and we do the same thing again. We chain 3, 2 and 3. 2 double crochet in the same stitch, 1 and 2. Hopefully you can see. Then we look for the right hand side, and we're just going to fold the project over and look for the last stitch we worked into was here, and we're going to skip one. Then in the next stitch coming from underneath, it's coming from the back, we do a little slip stitch. Do the same thing again, chain 3, 2 double crochet, and then we fold our little project back, and we look for the left hand side and we skip one and slip stitch from the front into the next stitch. And I've got little comments. I love patterns like this. They look so intricate but are simple and easy to work up. That's what's really nice. It's I really like sort of designing and thinking about patterns that are fairly simple to make when you're not doing it on camera, and but create sort of really cute alternative effects, because I think sometimes it's really good to mix things up, find new techniques that are quite simple, and then you sort of think, oh, why didn't I think of doing that before that way? And that was what was quite fun about this morning's pattern as well. The sort of petal design is a little bit different. So, and then we're almost at the end. So again, going back, chain 3. 2 double crochet, 1 and 2 in the same stitch, then folding it back over. Let's have a look on the right hand side. It's going to just fold this over. That was the last stitch worked into, skip one, then in this stitch here, coming from the back, we slip stitch. And then I think this may be our last one. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, and turning it the right way back up, we're going to just work into perhaps the top chain here just to finish, like so, and then cut our yarn. Finish with the purple, just pull that through, and I can't skip ahead because this is live. I'm going to sew all my tail ends on camera, but once you've finished, you can see there you've got the lovely lavender shape. It can get a little bit twisted, so you can just flatten it back into shape. And I think while we're talking, let's just tie in these tail ends. So there's a few of them, but start with the green, just on the back, as neatly as you can. Let's tie in some tail ends, which is probably one of the most tedious jobs, I think, with the crochet. So I think a lot of my patterns, I'm quite lazy when it comes to sewing. So a lot of my amigurumi, I try and avoid tail ends. I think the worst pattern I ever did for tail ends was my here's a test of your memory. If anyone remembers my tartan plaid washcloths, it's a very, very old design, but oh my goodness, that had so many tail ends. I'm sure there's actually probably a better way of doing that now. Now I have more experience of designing. Just avoiding those tail ends as much as possible. So we've done those two, and we're going to finish up with this. So let's see, let's go through the chain again, just to bring that in, turn it over. Let's try and hide this in some similar coloured yarn. And I think if these are really curly, you could block them into shape a little bit more, but they do tend to flatten out. And then I think for the very last one, is just going to give it a nice pull. There's one at the very, very beginning. And it's quite difficult to hide a tail end where it's just chains. So what I do is pull really tightly and then just leave a tiny sort of 0.5 centimetre at the end. and I think that still looks nice. And there we go, there is our little lavender, and it can go with our other lavender, creating this really beautiful bouquet, which will look really nice on, I think, maybe a card, a spring card or something like that. And you could crochet a little bow to put them together. And there we go, there is the lavender, the crochet lavender, and it's such a sweet little pattern, if I say so myself. So I'm just checking for any messages. And I think that's it. So I thank you so much for joining me. It's been really nice. I'm really glad to figure out the different, the Patreon messages, comments, and the YouTube comments. And so I'm not missing talking with you guys, so which has been really lovely. But thank you so much for joining me. And I think it's you, Genevieve. I'm not sure. You've got such a cute little handle there, though, with a little bear. It's very sweet. But thanks for joining, and that's the end of the evening live, and my next live will come next month. And I try and work out which one works better, or maybe it works well having one in the morning and one in the evening. I think maybe that's the way to go. Have a couple of little cute projects that we can work on, and we get some new comments. Missy's like just pointing at the screen. Thank you so much for sharing the live. Yes, it's Genevieve. Oh, it is you, Genevieve. Thank you for confirming, because I felt really rude. It's really nice to have you join. So it's really lovely to chat as well. It's been a nice kind of one-on-one chat as well, which is really nice. That's what's great, I think, about Patreon and moving away from YouTube is for doing things like lives, is that we can have more of a kind of personal community and a membership area. Whereas if I have done the odd live on YouTube before, but you get so swamped with comments and you just you can't really get to know people. It's very difficult, and I find that a little bit sad actually, that you can't sort of get to know people and chat with people. So it's been really lovely having someone join this morning and then someone join this evening. It's been really nice. So I think we'll continue that next month. So I'm working on my next ebook as well, which is going to be, which I'm going to talk about and do a post in particular, because I want to get your guys' opinions on what's going to go in the ebook. But I was going to call it the self-care package. So I was going to design I've got these little makeup remover pads, and like a mug cozy and an eye mask, and maybe a washcloth design, all in a little ebook. And of course that's going to be free for you guys as well. So if you have any ideas of what could also go in a little care package, self-care package ebook, then just let me know. But I'll do a dedicated post as well on Patreon. But thanks for joining me. I think we're going to go, and yeah, that's been wonderful. It's been really good fun. So I think it's gone quite well today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon for some more crochet fun. Bye, Genevieve.